What's up, y'all? I don't know about you, but I'm pretty excited for this Saudi Cup. We're finally going to get to see Kentucky Derby winner Maximum Security facing some top competition again. He's also going to be up against his cousin Mackenzie, which he's never faced before. He's back up against Tacitus. We got Mujo Gusto back in this one. So hopefully everything goes as planned, and we're going to see a great race tomorrow. Now, a lot of horses running here. 14 scheduled. We got an alternate on the board. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have time to go through individual horse videos this time unless some miracle happens. But I am going to get you the analysis on all these horses coming up today on this one video. So let me get started here. Benbato, all right. He's the number one horse. They got him around 10 to 1 there. Being ridden by Murphy. He's won on him before. This horse has got decent performances overseas. He's a British horse, bred by Saeed bin Surur. So he's got a decent trainer. He's mostly run on turf. He's got a win at a mile and 3/16 in his last out. That was a minute 156. He did beat Gronkowski in that race. So, he's got a decent win there. I think he'll be competitive, but he hasn't faced the likes of the other horses he's facing today. So he's really got his work cut out for him in this one. Now, next we're going to go to the number 2 horse. Number 2 is Capizano. Capizano's back, 6-year-old. Being ridden by Barzello. He's got a win aboard him before. Capizano got a win in his last one out in the Firebreak Stakes, a mile, minute 36. So it was a decent race. Didn't do too much in the last race for that, a mile and a quarter. He had in the Al Maktoum mile and a quarter win there, 2:05. Not that great of a time, but he did get that win. So Capizano, you can see why he's in the race. He's got decent breeding. He's out of Bernardini. But he's going to have his work cut out for him as well, in my opinion. He's facing much younger and stronger horses, I think, coming up here later. We'll see. Crystal Barrel. That's what I'm going with. Didn't get a time to look up a lot of these horses because a lot of them coming from overseas. Crystal Barrel being ridden by Sommillion, familiar face, but he's never ridden this horse before. This horse is undefeated. Now, why you change the jockey? The horse is undefeated. I guess the other guy that was riding him, they just don't think is up to snuff. So they got Sommillion. He's an accomplished jockey. Christophe Soumillion's going to be riding him. This horse is undefeated, as I said. He's got wins a mile and a quarter, mile and an eighth. Last win was in a mile and an eighth and 1:48, so that was a decent time, decent performance there. We'll see what he's got. He hasn't faced too much competition. He might be a decent play in there, but we'll see if he's going to be able to hang with these other great horses that are going to be in this race today. It's going to be a good one, I think. Next, we're going to look at the number 4. All right, the number 4 we've got is Gold Dream, a 7-year-old Japanese-bred horse. Tough to see how this horse is going to do anything. He's out of Gold Allure, which is a Sunday Silence horse. Decent breeding, but he's old. What am I going to say? He's being ridden by Lamario. The jockey has gotten a win aboard him before, but he hasn't won his last few outs. He's got a 4th place his last out in a mile and a quarter in 2:04. That was in Tokyo. He was second by a neck in the Champions Cup to behind Crystal Barrel. So, if you like Crystal Barrel, he did have a decent race there out of Gold Dream, mile and an eighth in 1:48. Lost that by a neck. But like I said, he's facing tougher horses in this one. But he's shown he can be competitive. So you might want to keep an eye on Gold Dream. You're probably going to really get a really good price. They got him at 20 to 1 here, but I think that probably may even go up based on how much money is going to be in this $20 million Saudi Cup. All right, let's move on here to the 5. Now, the 5, we've got Great Scott. All right, Great Scott, 4-year-old British gelding. out of Requinto, an Irish horse. They got him listed at 60 to 1 here. He's being ridden by Moreno. He's never ridden him before. A horse likes to ride up front, but he's never ridden on dirt before. But hey, he's decent turf horse. He got a win in a mile on turf in his last out. Minute 44. He's not going to be able to walk around the track like that in this kind of race coming up here. So we'll see what he's got for him. Never run on dirt before, so I don't really like that. But, hey, maybe he's just going to be a super horse and maybe it'll work out for him. Who knows? Anyway, we're going to move on to the 6th, all right? In the 6th position, we got an old favorite here, Gronkowski. Now, Gronkowski, he's competitive, but he hasn't really done much since he had that second place in the Belmont Stakes. Really hasn't won since March of 2018. So he's had some competitive races. He was second in the Dubai World Cup. So, you know, he's shown that he can be competitive. Hasn't been able to get to the winner's circle, though, in a long time. So he's back in this one. I expect him to pretty much do the same thing as he always does. He's probably going to come from off the pace and run a strong race and see if he's still hanging around there. See if the other horses maybe get in some kind of speed duel or something, maybe would favor Gronkowski. But I think that he's going to have to change his strategy. Now, he's being ridden by Dettori. Jockey change on him in this one, so Dettori's a decent jockey. We'll see if he can get him up and get him competitive for this one. Next, the 7, Maximum Security. Kentucky Derby winner, Maximum Security. Luis Saez back aboard him once again. He's been kind of missing out on the action since the Haskell. He didn't run the Breeders' Cup Classic, didn't run the Jockey Club Gold Cup. He did run the Bold Ruler, and he ran the Cigar Mile, which, hey, not facing tough competition, short races. He had a great time in the Bold Ruler, a minute 20, and that's 7 furlongs. And, you know, the Cigar Mile was a workout. He didn't even try in that race, and it was 136. So he's the odds-on favorite here, 5-2 heading into it. I expect him, Maximum Security, to stay there, but I think his cousin McKenzie's probably going to get some action. I say his cousin's Maximum Security's out of New Year's Day. He's out of Street Cry, so that makes him, they both share the same grandsire. So Jason Service has Maximum Security out here. We're finally going to get to see him go up against some tough competition again. We've been waiting for this since the Haskell. All right. And really, since the Kentucky Derby, let's be honest. But hey, Maximum Security's back at it again. Next, we're going to move on to the 8. All right, and the 8 is, sorry, my notes are a little out of order here. It was tough to get information on this race. You'd think of $20 million races. They'd have past performances and everything lined up all over the place for people to check it out. But hey, I had to dig up info on it, and my horses came in out of order. But at any rate, I think it's just odd that such a big race and it wasn't really hyped more than this, and you're putting that much money into it. But anyway, the number 8, Maximum Security's cousin, as I was saying, McKenzie, out of Street Sense, Kentucky Derby winner, who's also out of Street Cry. He's being ridden by Joel Rosario, who rode him in the Breeders' Cup Classic. That was his first time riding him. He rode second behind Vino Rosso. No surprise that Vino Rosso got the win in that race. McKenzie did better than I thought. He thought he might have trouble with a 1.25 miles, but he handled it pretty well, only running a 4 lengths off of Vino Rosso, and that time at 2:02. Before that, he had kind of an off race, and the Awesome again. He got beat by Mongolian Groom. That was one of those things. Before that, he had a nice, impressive win in the Whitney at 1 1/8 miles, a minute 47. So he's back. I think he's definitely a contender. Being this 1 1/8 miles, I think he could get the win. I don't really know if he's as fast as Maximum Security, but he's definitely a fast horse. He's probably going to be stalking the pace. Maybe he can get a good angle. Maybe Maximum Security has an off day. I'm not really picking Maximum Security just yet. I've really got to check out the pace and everything. Some of this is going to be weird with some of these horses. But at any rate, you know, he is the favorite. But McKenzie's second favorite at 3-1. That may come down as well. McKenzie looks really good. Trained by Bob Baffert. You know, he likes to get horses up for these big races. He is in Saudi Arabia, so maybe things might be a little bit different than he's used to at his normal tracks. But I expect McKenzie to be ready to go. And I think he's going to give Maximum Security everything he's got, as well as the rest of these horses. Next, the 9. All right. The 9, we are looking at My Jack. Oh yeah, okay, My Jack. Yeah, My Jack's coming off a 5-race win streak. All right, impressive. The thing is, he hasn't beaten anybody. His last win is a mile and an eighth. A mile and a quarter in 2:06. Nothing to write home about there, even though I do have to say the name of the race is the Custodian of the Two Holy Mosques Cup. All right, so that win he got in the Custodian of the Two Holy Mosques Cup was a good win in this track here in Saudi Arabia. He also got a win in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Cup in the same track and the Europe Cup. So he knows the track. That's a plus. He's got this jockey on him though. Al-Awi now, Al-Afwi. All right, now it looks like he's ridden him before, but the name is spelled differently than it is in the past performance for the one that's listed. So maybe it's the same guy, maybe it's not. It's if it is the same guy, I mean, it seems like it should be. I mean, this probably be the biggest race of his career, you'd think. They got this horse at 60-1. Hey, maybe some value in him. Maybe he runs in late. I don't know if he's really going to be able to keep up with these horses, but hey, he's got a bunch of wins. Who knows how fast he can really go? But he's going to have to bring everything he's got in this race today. All right, the 10 horse we've got, Mucho Gusto. All right, winner of the Pegasus World Cup. We thought Maximum Security was going to be there, but he skipped that race. Pegasus World Cup winner Mucho Gusto automatically gets a bid into this race. He's being ridden by Irad Ortiz Jr. again, who was able to get him out of that funk he was with on Joe Talamo. Now, Irad Ortiz Jr. is a much better jockey, and so far he is 1-0 aboard Mucho Gusto. So you got to figure that Mucho Gusto is going to be worth looking at in this one with Irad Ortiz Jr. aboard. He's probably going to be near the front, probably stalking the pace. Definitely got to keep your eye on this horse. He's got a macho man, so decent enough breeding to get this mile and an eighth. And hey, he could win it. You know, they got him at 6-1. That's pretty decent money on him. Mucho Gusto's got a chance to win it because he's got the accomplished jockey. You know, he's probably the best jockey in the race, either him or Mike Smith. But Mucho Gusto, the 10, another Baffert horse. Watch him. All right, the 11. 11 is old North America, 8-year-old British horse. This horse has been around forever. They still got him out there. Hasn't done much lately. He got a win 3 races ago in this one of the Al Maktoum races, mile and 3:16 to 158. He ran the Dubai World Cup, got embarrassed by Thundersmoke Gronkowski in that one, and he ran third in this Al Maktoum mile, 137. I just think North America's too old. But hey, they're throwing him out there. Maybe hope to get a piece of the pie. I think they should either retire him or probably run him in some races that he might be able to win. But at any rate, that's the 11 North America. Speaking of horses running in races that they can't win, the 12 Tacitus. I think he's outmatched in this one. People think I'm a Tacitus hater. He just doesn't belong in the same conversation with a lot of these other horses. Jose Lezcano is riding him for the first time, so maybe he'll be able to get something different out of him. But Tacitus hasn't won in a while. His last out was the Jockey Club Gold Cup. He got beat by Vino Rosso and Code of Honor, and that one running third. He was second to Travis Bond, Code of Honor, and he was second to Jim Dandy behind Tax. All right, so he did beat Mucho Gusto in that race, but that was with Talamo aboard. I don't think Tacitus really is going to be able to have enough to get it done in this one. But hey, he's out there. He is a tough horse. I got to give him that. I mean, he is tough. He runs hard the whole race. Just don't know if he can run fast enough. All right, the number 13 is Magic Wand. All right, Magic Wand, Pegasus Turf World Cup Turf runner-up. I don't know if this horse is really going to be able to do anything. He's a turf horse, never run on dirt before once again. He's got Ryan Moore riding him. I think this is probably going to be too much for him, though. Looking to probably be stalking the pace, but I think the dirt's going to get to him. I mean, unless he's really going to be that tough. He's out of a Galilee, who's a Sadler's Wells horse, more turf. You know what I mean? On the other side, Danehill, more turf. So we'll see if he can handle the dirt. That's Magic Wand at 13. They got him here at 30-1. I think he's probably going to go up higher than that. The number 14 is Midnight Baisu. Okay, Midnight Baisu, a 5-year-old mare. Interesting horse, was coming off a long winning streak. Won 7 of her last 8 races, being ridden by Mike Smith. Really good wins here. They were against fillies, but a good win in the Personal Engine a little ways back here, a mile and 1/8 and 147. Won the Beldame, mile and 1/8, 148. Was second in the Breeders' Cup Distaff. Made a move a little bit too late in that one, kind of fell asleep. That time was 150, but second, 1 length off. Wasn't able to recover. I don't expect Mike Smith to fall asleep in this one. At Midnight Baisu, hey, wouldn't it be something if a 5-year-old mare won this $20 million race? But Midnight Baisu, I think the horse is definitely playable. This year at 8-1. I'm going to have to see how it shakes out. I'm going to have to look at the pace in this one. Maximum Security, he's definitely the favorite. I like him going into it, but I'm going to have to look at it. He's definitely got his work cut out for him in this one. He's not going to be able to skate by like he's done in the past few races. Now, last but not least, we got this horse Staunch here. He's a 15 horse. He's an alternate. He was second in this the Saudi races, the custodian of the 2 Holy Mosque Cup. And he was second in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Cup. So he's like the alternate Saudi horse, third in that Europe Cup. He's an alternate. If something happens, he'll get a chance in here. He knows the track. They don't have a jockey listed for him, so they'll probably have this Al Afwi guy ride him. Or maybe they got somebody else, but at any rate, that's Staunch. He's the alternate. Now, stay tuned. I know this video is a little bit long, but I'm probably not going to be able to do any spotlight videos. If I get some time, I might do a couple. But I do want to get the pace handicapping out there, and of course come across with picks. So stay tuned. Those are coming up.